Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is your YouTube Live Surrender Break Room. So glad you're coming on in, hanging out with me today in the break room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Celeste Owens, author, speaker, and leader of the Global Surrender Movement. And I like to say that surrender is simply doing God's will His way all the time. Welcome as you come on in. Make sure you say hello. I'm glad you're hanging out with me today on this fabulous Tuesday. I come in every Tuesday to chat about something to encourage your faith, to move you forward, to know that something greater is right there, right in front of you. So we're coming on in. I am the author of several different books, including the 40-Day Surrender Fast, where I wrote over a decade ago, and that's why now surrender is my thing. Just surrender to the flow of God so you can do all that He's purposed for you to do. Hey, Renee, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're the first one in today. You can't see behind me, Renee, but I have my essential oils going, and they smell amazing. And my stomach is growling. Okay, but that's beside the point. I need to eat something. But welcome, you guys. Thanks so much again for hanging out. We're talking about 3 things taking a leap of faith taught me. And I'm hoping it'll teach you. And maybe if you're on the verge of taking a leap, it will encourage you to do the same. So again, we're talking about 3 things taking a leap of faith taught me. I'm on each and every day. Okay, you guys. Hey, Marcia. So Mondays, I'm on a podcast. So if you're not checking out my podcast, make sure you do. Monday, all you have to do is go to my website, Dr. Celeste Owens, and podcast is right there on the homepage. Just click and you can listen to any of the podcasts. The past ones, I've been doing podcasting now for over a year, and it's the Surrender Break Room for leaders. If you lead in any capacity, I think it will bless you. It's similar to what we do here, but just different topics. So make sure you go and check it out. I know, Marcia, it's been a while, so I'm so glad you came and hung out with me. I'm still trying to get my people in Periscope land to land over here, and I guess I need to be more diligent about it. Sending out a blast email or something like that. You finally, oh my goodness, Marcia, are you serious? Can we just say hallelujah? Marcia has found the issue to her eyes, issues, problems that she's had for the last couple of years. She found the problem and the solution. Nobody but God. Love that. And she has endured, and now she's here to tell us the testimony. So that's awesome, Marcia. So we're just going to jump right in, you guys, okay? I am Dr. Celeste Owens, and I'm an author and a speaker, and I'm so glad you're hanging out with me today. And we're talking about 3 things taking a leap of faith taught me. And as I go along and talk, please make sure you chime into the chat. I'll make sure I chime back. If you're not watching it live, if you're catching the replay, I'll make sure I chime back to you. But if you are on the verge of taking a leap, jumping, doing something different, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you to do that. So this is the question I want you to ask yourself today, because I know Marcia is on and she's listening and she's been able to resolve some things related to her eyes. So that means now she's in transition, about to do her next thing. So this is the question I want you to ask yourself today. What will I do this year that will get me closer to my dream and my calling? Okay, you guys, what will I do today that will get me closer to my dream and my calling? Right, V. James and Jolly and all of you are listening. What will I do this year that will get me closer to my dream and my calling? Are you doing something related to that now? Are you in it and you're trudging forward? Are you just on the edge thinking about taking that leap of faith? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There's always some element of risk associated with making big changes. I've lived big changes over and over again. I don't know if you guys have. If you lived a big change, pop it into the chat. What big change have you lived through? Because there's always some element of risk in making a big change. I remember the big change I made very early in my 20s. I just finished undergraduate college in Buffalo, New York. Born and raised in Buffalo, lived in Buffalo all my life. And there was just something inside of me that kept saying, you got to leave Buffalo. And it was saying that to me in high school, like my junior year when we were going to apply for colleges. And I was like, oh, no, I'm afraid. So I ended up doing college at the University of Buffalo, which was great. I enjoyed it very much. But then it was like, it would not let me go. So when I had to go to do grad school, and I had to do it, chose to do grad school, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to leave. And I applied to schools. I forget what areas, but anyway, I got into the University of Baltimore, into their counseling psychology program, and took the big leap of faith. So what is that thing that's inside of you that's telling you you are made for more? Move forward, move, do it, come on. What is that thing? Because that's what you need to be doing. That's what you need to be moving forward towards and walking towards that thing. And I did it, and it was definitely risky, and I was definitely lonely. So lonely. In fact, I was like, I'm done. Like, when this week ends, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. I'm not staying. I could withdraw from the school, go back home, and I don't care. But I did not. I stayed, and I've learned, and I saw this quote today, that there is no reward if there's no risk. That is so true. Because from Baltimore, I went to Pittsburgh, got a doctorate. From Pittsburgh, I went to Chicago. Then from Chicago, back here to Maryland after marrying my husband. So amazing. It's been an amazing journey. I've learned so much, met some amazing people, have been stretched, stretched way out of my comfort zone, and I'm better for it. So you got to take a risk. There's a woman, Jill Griffin, who wrote a book called Women Make Great Leaders. So I was just looking at this online today. Women Make Great Leaders. And she said one of the things she found as she was interviewing women is that women said that she interviewed, every single woman she interviewed said, they decided that regret was a lot worse than failure. And that's how they were able to push forward and just be these amazing leaders, because they decided regret is going to be a lot harder to live with than just moving forward and the potential risk that's associated with that. And I'm glad they did. And I'm sure people who are surrounded with them are glad they did. Economics 101, you guys, the more risk you take, the greater the potential profit, the more profit you can make. And that's like even when you're investing in your SEP accounts or your IRAs or anything like that. We have a moderate risk IRA, but there was a higher risk one too. But you can make more profit the more risk you take. So are you hearing me in your life? Come on now, get out of your comfort zone. It's time to move. You're going to have to take a risk because there's going to be a greater profit on the other side of that risk. And I know there's a voice inside of you that's telling you, you need to be doing this. You need to be moving forward. Come on. And I remember even Deborah, who's listening, had when she needed to start doing her live events, she just took the risk. I don't know how many months it took her to decide, okay, I'm going to do one, but she did it. And I'm sure there's a great reward associated with that. So what's your one thing? And pop that in the chat. What's your one thing? What's that one thing that's gnawing that you need to do? It might mean going back to school. It might mean moving. I'm coaching a client now who has had this unction in her for years to move. She's like, oh, every time I go to put a bid on a home, I go through the process and I drop out at some point, So what is it going to take? What is that one thing that's just gnawing at you? That's just saying you need to do it. You need to move forward. You need to take that risk. You need to do it. You're going to succeed. So it might be something that you're doing now. And again, pop it in the chat. Is it something that you're doing now? I wrote some things out. Quit your job. I know somebody who just did this, and I've been waiting on this brother to do this for years. And he finally was like, I'm done. The pandemic, you guys, will stretch you to the point where you're like, I'm going to take some risk, because it just shook everything up. Like if you were living this nice, comfortable life, the pandemic was just like shook everything up. Like, oh my goodness, the world is so different now. I remember the first time I went out with the mask on, you guys, everything was novel and new. All of a sudden, I'm just looking at everybody. Everybody has on the mask. We're standing in line. Everything was so new. Take that newness and move that forward into the new thing you're about to do now. Stop hesitating. Move forward and do it, okay? Getting a new home, starting a new job, even starting a new career, whatever that is, I want you to do it. I want you to grab hold of that thing. And you got to get quiet. That was another thing I jotted down today. You got to get quiet because you don't hear in all the noise and the commotion. But the pandemic has really forced a lot of us to get quiet or quieter. So you got to get quiet, you guys. Life is always leading you to where you're supposed to go when you listen to it. You like that, right? Life is always leading you where you're supposed to go. It's the flow of God. When you are listening, listen up. And not only be a hearer of the word, be a doer and do it. So here's three things. Three things, and I'm out of your hair. Three things taking a leap of faith taught me. Three things. It's taught me so many things, but these are just three I can think of. It taught me I'm fearless. So I want you to take a deep breath and say, I'm fearless. Marsha's taking a deep breath to say she's fearless because she's talking about publishing her devotional. Yay! Just take a deep breath. Say I'm fearless. Now you might in the back of your head be like, well, yeah, I do got a little fear. I don't know if I can really say that in honesty and in truth, but you actually can. Because there was a show a long time ago. Did you guys ever watch Fear Factor? Did you ever watch Fear Factor? I used to watch that thing religiously. Then it got kind of old because they kept eating the same old crazy things. You just got tired of watching that. But at first it was fascinating to watch that. Like, oh my goodness, what are they eating? They're eating a turtle. I mean, I'm just making it up. It was worse stuff than that. Like a turtle probably would have been easy. They were just eating crazy, crazy things. And they were taking these big jumps or doing these terrific feats. And at the end of the show, the host would say, apparently fear is not a factor for you. It did not mean that they were not afraid when they walked up on that thing. That means that they looked that thing in the eye and stared it down and won the stare down. That's what it means. So fear is not a factor for me because it doesn't mean that I'm absent of fear. It means that I just push toward the fear and I do it anyway. So you got to give fear a stare down. My daughter used to stare down my dad. Like they would do these stare downs. And she's like, Pop, let's see who can stare the longest. And they would just stare at each other. It's so funny. She would win a lot of the times. She'd be like, oh man, but you got to stare fear down and be like, I'm going to win. And then the way you do that is by pushing forward and pushing past that thing. I love it. Someone saying that they're building 2 businesses since the pandemic. They have built 2 businesses, 2 streams of income since the pandemic has started. We've been in this thing a year. Have you wasted this year? Come on now, let's move it. You still got time. Let's go. Let's roll. You will develop a mental strength where fear doesn't exist anymore. When you just move past that thing, when you just move, your mental strength just gets stronger. Okay, so that was number 1, right? Be fearless. Be fearless. Number 2, you will feel a complete sense of freedom. Freedom. Like what? When you just push past the thing that is making you afraid. When you actually do that thing, you will feel, first of all, you'll feel the freedom because you don't have that gnawing inside of you that's telling you to do better, be greater, right? You don't have that gnaw inside of you, right, Tia, when you step out in faith and just do something great. You will feel a complete sense of freedom. When you follow that intuition, you are free. So you guys know, or maybe you don't know, maybe this is the first time you're hearing me on YouTube, but over 10 years ago, I got this sense that I had to leave everything I was doing. I was on a speaking platform, in private practice, ministry leader at my church. And the Holy Spirit told me, leave everything. That was another really big leap of faith. But had I not taken the leap of faith when I was like 21, remember I told you I left home and went to Baltimore like I was a crazy person with no family there, nobody I knew, and just left and did it all. Had I not done that one, I wouldn't have been able to do the 2010 and leave everything. And I'm just kind of having that epiphany right now that I wouldn't have been able to do it. Like when David said, I killed a lion and a bear, that's what that brother was talking about. I could say, I conquered Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Chicago. So what going home, which is that Philistine, that big giant, what is that going to do to me? I did all these other feats. So I was able to come home, and I'm so glad I did because I ended up getting a complete sense of freedom. I didn't feel locked into a job any longer. I felt like I could just go at the flow and speed of God at the pace I needed to go. So, and I have such a freedom even still now. And definitely there were days when I was like, dang, it would be nice to get a regular old paycheck like normal people. On those weeks I couldn't pay myself, or years. Years I couldn't pay myself. It would be nice to have a regular old paycheck. It didn't matter. I had freedom. It tells us in the word, the fear of man can prove to be a snare. That could be you. You fearing your own self. Oh no, you talking yourself out of things. It's going to be a snare for you. You ain't going to find freedom until you do what God has called you to do. Live in the power God has already given me. You better preach that thing, Marsha. Live in that power. It's already in you to do great feats. It's already in you. Number 3, you can achieve great things when you step out on faith, when you take that leap of faith, when you jump, you're going to achieve great, great, great things. I took another leap of faith. over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Y'all, this was crazy. My son was leaving 8th grade, and I was talking to my girlfriend. We both got stuck in jury duty. And we were both sitting there like, we hope we get out of here soon. Why we got called? And it was so weird that we got called on the same day at the same time. It's like, and I know I'm always in the mindset of thinking, okay, God, you set this up. This must be for a reason. And all of a sudden she just says, I'm getting this idea that I should homeschool Isaiah. I'm like, as soon as she said it, it just like washed all over me. Homeschool AJ, homeschool AJ. I'm like, no, no. So I tell her, I'm like, girl, while you're talking, I feel like I need to do it too. She's like, what? We both did it, long story short. And it was a year of just grueling, learning how to be these homeschool moms and taking them to the co-op. And, they weren't even like built in this thing for homeschool because the kids have been doing it since they were in kindergarten. They all knew each other. Our boys were like, this is a weird world that we want to get out of. But you know what? This is the setup. Man, when you take a leap of faith, you could conquer giants. You could feel a complete sense of freedom. You can do great feats. You're going to achieve great things when you do it. He finished that year out, gained his confidence. So K-8, he didn't have great confidence. He didn't get good grades. It just was what it was. We pull him out, do homeschool. His confidence grows. He starts to get good grades. He's like starting to feel himself like, okay, mom, you've been telling me I've been smart all this time. I am smart, mom. I'm smart. Boy, you smart. The pandemic hits. We used to homeschool. We weren't like the rest of the kids who had to come home, like my daughter, who should have did the homeschool when I invited her to do it. All of a sudden she's struggling. This thing is hard. I hate being in front of this computer. Oh, your brother is mastering this thing. This boy, y'all, now he's at private school, but it was still it was still virtual. This boy been hitting honor roll every single quarter. What? You're going to achieve some great things if you just step out on faith. This boy has learned and mastered the art of doing his own work, studying for himself, getting his grades, his working on time. This boy has hit 3.38 3 quarters in a row, the same exact GPA. It didn't matter the combination of A's and B's. This boy, it's so weird. I'm like, how do you keep getting 3.38? I heard, somebody was like, man, if we played the numbers, we probably would want to play 338. We don't play the numbers. But it's pretty awesome, right? You're going to achieve great things. I heard, this is where I'm ending. I'm going to end. But I started watching American Idol with my mom. Thank you, guys. She's like, go ahead, AJ. I started watching American Idol with my mom, and I thought this one contestant who got kicked off had the most amazing attitude about it. And some of the people when they got kicked off, they're like in tears, which is okay. They're disappointed, of course. But he was like, I'm good. I got to have this amazing experience. I got to grow during this time. And he's like, what did he say? I wrote it down. A no won't stop me. I'm made to do something great. A no ain't gonna stop me. He's like, so thank you for the opportunity. And I'm moving on to my next. I was like, OMG, if we all could be like that little young man, I think he's like 20 years old, that we're like, this no don't define me. This don't stop me. I had to learn something in this thing. I'm gonna get on to my next. I was so impressed with him. Like, I just want somebody to give him a singing contract just because his attitude is so amazing. You know what? He's actually going to go really far because he just has this amazing attitude about it. So that's what I need you to do today. If you step out and it looks like a failure, no, it's a learning opportunity. It was a time for you to grow, and it was time for you to stretch yourself and then say, a no don't define me. I'm going to keep on going. You think about it. Jennifer Hudson, she got a no on there, and that girl that blew up, and she had a no. And I think Fantasia, did Fantasia win? She might have won, but anyway, some of them didn't win, like Clay Aikens, and he still blew up. Carrie Underwood, she might have won. You get the point. I'm messing up because I think I'm choosing the winners, but you get the point. A no doesn't define you. So I need y'all to take a leap of faith. Tia, what's your leap of faith? Marsha, what's your leap of faith? Dr. Tony, what's your leap of faith? Or you're listening now, and I don't see you because it's not live. What's your leap of faith? Just put it in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe, you guys. Comment. That's what's going to up this whole Surrender Break Room on YouTube, okay? So make sure you like and subscribe, comment, invite some other people to hang out with us. We're having fun, right? We're having a good time. So stay surrendered for life. There's no other way to live, and I'll catch you next time. Be blessed. Yeah, Renee, Fantasia won. I know I was messing up. I was messing up. I couldn't remember the people who were second place. I was trying to remember the second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place people. I was messing up. I forgot. But even on Sunday's Best, there's like some people who now have like singing contracts. I'm like, y'all better go. Y'all ain't even win according to like first place, but they won because they're still recording. They're still doing some great things. So, oh, I'm glad it was a blessing to you, M. Franklin. I'm so glad. Step out on faith, you guys. And yeah, you guys, you don't know Marsha's story, but Marsha has been having eye issues for years. And now she finally figured out the problem and the solution, and she's about to move forward and read some more and finish her devotional that she started. Awesome, Dr. Tony. So glad to hear that. Yep. So I'm glad you guys were encouraged. I need you to take a step of faith. Thank you. Deborah is being brave. She said she put out there to open an art gallery. Deborah, I didn't even know you was into art like that. So that's pretty awesome. She's going to open an art gallery. You can do it. That would be amazing. I know, Marsha. So glad you came on. Are you guys not proud of Minister Deborah, who is already a book author, already hosts like live videos, chat things, kind of things, podcast. And now she's talking about she wants to open an art gallery. And she said she already started 2 businesses during this pandemic. She's wearing a lot of hats. I'm proud of her. I know that said, oh, well, all right, Deborah. Well, all right, Deborah. You better do the thing. So anyway, tomorrow, I'm on There's an Oil for that. So come hang out with me. It's at noon, Instagram Live or Dr. Celeste Owens' YouTube page. Come hang out with me at noon. We have the most fun. And we're talking inflammation tomorrow. I already know because the Lord just put this on my heart. We're talking inflammation tomorrow and just different oils you can use to reduce inflammation. Super duper easy. Frankincense is one I'm just throwing out there if you use oils. Just put frankincense under your tongue. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, though. Just 1 drop of doTERRA frankincense, not anybody frankincense, because you won't know what they put in them bottles, but we know doTERRA is pure. So anyway, come hang out with me tomorrow. Yes, Renee, you need that? Please come hang out with me tomorrow. Noon, Instagram Live or Facebook, Dr. Celeste Owens page. Inflammation. Okay, we're going to talk inflammation, how to, what it looks like in your body, like how you can tell if you have it. And then also, hey, Tanya, what you doing on here, girl? When I live my purpose, God will provide all I need. Thank you. When you grow in that flow and live out that purpose, He'll provide everything you need. I was just telling my mom that, Tanya. Okay, Instagram Live, you guys, tomorrow. Facebook, because I want to finish this thought here with Tanya, because Tanya is preaching that thing right now. 2 years ago, it was in my heart that my daughter was going to go to I told you the story already, a girls' school. It just came in my heart like real quick, girls' school. I was like, Lee, you're going to go to girls' school. She's like, no, I don't want to go to girls' school, whatever. We pull up behind the car. This was all in the same motion, all in the same like 20 minutes. Leah, it's in my heart you're going to a girls' school. Well, pull up to this car. This car says, my child made honor roll at Seton High School. I was like, Leah, I bet you anything that's a girls' school. I didn't know. No clue. I bet you that's a girls' school because I didn't grow up in Maryland. Yes, but lo and behold, we walk into the church. She goes to dance. I Google it. It's a girls' school. I was like, I told you that was a girls' school. You going to the school. Then I run into somebody 2 days later at Leah's 6th grade graduation kind of thingy. Moving up day, whatever, 6th grade, moving to middle school. And I run into Stacy, who I hadn't seen in years. And he says, my daughter just graduated 8th grade. I was like, really? What school is she going to? As soon as I said what school she's going to, it came in, she's going to Seton. She's going to Seton High School. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For some reason, this is the 3rd time that school has come to my mind. My daughter's going to go there too. He was like, yes, it's pretty expensive, but my daughter got a scholarship. So then I started thinking, OMG, this girl got to get straight A's. I need her to get straight A's so she can get the scholarship because I don't have the money for the school because I had already Googled how much it costs. College tuition. But start coming to me, Tanya. What you worried about? That's 2 years from now. I mean, she needs to get good grades, yes, but stop worrying. Don't think about tomorrow. Give no thought to tomorrow. And y'all, you know what? 2 years later, it ain't no issue to pay for this girl's tuition. AJ's in private school, Leah's in private school. It's a non-issue. Now, have I spent 2 years worrying, I wouldn't even open up a portal for money to come to me anyway, because my worry would have blocked it. Anyway, so I just sat back, relaxed. You know what? Drop your shoulders. It's taken care of. Everything you need. Deborah's Art Gallery, taken care of. You all you got to do is show it with a yes. Just show it with a yes. And that's all I did in my heart. I showed it with a yes. It's a yes. That's where you're going, little girl. And that is indeed where she's going. And it's a non-issue. Preach it. Thank you, Tanya. I got the amen corner in Tanya today and Renee. I am working on that kind of faith. Yes, Tanya, 2 years later, it's a non-issue. Like the tuition is what? All right. My God will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. My God owns everything. The cat on the 1,000 hills is his. He owns everything. All he got to do is money come forth. Go to her. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. I'm telling you, I just live that thing. Is it crazy faith? I thought it was just what we do. Well, thank you. Well, I will say I grew up with some pillars of faith. Like my parents made faith for like an everyday occurrence. They just boom, 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 like faith, 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 faith. So I guess to me, it's commonplace. But you're right. I guess when I think about that, it's kind of crazy faith. But it is. It's coming to you. It's coming to you. Oh my goodness, she already got the art going. Oh my goodness. See? Gotta just start throwing it at you. Here you go. Here you go. You got enough faith to believe I'm gonna do this. Here you go. I could do some things. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Right, Tanya? You could just, even the things that you're struggling with, that's what we're talking about today. You look at fear straight in the eye. You ain't gonna hold me back. I ain't gonna struggle with this. Because faith and fear can't reside in the same place. Faith and fear can't reside in the same place. So you decide, I'm not gonna have fear. I'm gonna have all faith. Yes. Step out on faith and God will provide. Tony, I mean, that's it. He will provide. You just put that one toe in the water, like the children of Israel did. They just put that one toe, boom, water, and they walk back. It didn't say they walk back on muddy land. It didn't even say it was muddy. It said dry. Oh my, that is incredible. The water just receded back, boom, boom, make them a nice little wall, and they walked. They didn't get mud on their shoes, nothing. It was dry. God, the blessings of the Lord maketh rich and add no sorrow to them. The blessings of the Lord make rich in all areas of your life. The blessings of the Lord, the blessings of the Lord. You know how you get those blessings? Obedience and faith, obedience and faith. Okay, God, I'm gonna step it. I'm scared, but I'm gonna do it. Boom, bam, blessings of the Lord come upon you. Yes. Anyway, let's roll. See, that was Celeste after the show. That was Celeste after the show. So you gotta hang out for the whole show. All right, you guys, love you much. Hope to catch you tomorrow on There's an Oil for That, or catch you here next week. Would you invite a friend? Next week, would you tell a friend you need to come watch YouTube Celeste 9ish? She's on at 9ish Eastern Standard Time. Come watch Celeste on YouTube. I already have thousands in art that literally was brought to me. Okay, she's in the overflow. Minister Deborah just living in overflow, y'all. Just tap your hands towards there and just take some of that. That's awesome. All right, you guys, be blessed. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.